Hi guys, right, thanks for joining me. Okay, quick look at astrology as it's happening today. This is Tuesday, June the 4th, 2019, but what I'm going to say, it's going to apply every time Mercury comes out of Gemini and enters Cancer, because that's kind of the cycle, you know, it goes through the signs of the zodiac, and that's what's happening today. Mercury has been in Gemini for quite some time now, and it's actually going to come out of Gemini. It's probably out of Gemini by now, and is just on the way into Cancer. And this changes the influence a lot around communications, and that's a real important thing. Communications, right? We're learning a lot about communication in the modern world. I'm wearing this filthy top at the moment because I'm taking my rubbish bags out to get rid of them. And I don't want to wear my best clothes for that. And it just occurred to me that this is the really filthy paint-covered jumper that I'm wearing in my most viewed video, which is the Doreen Virtue, More Money and Christianity one. And how enigmatic that is, I didn't know that one was going to take off. I never know which one of my videos is going to kind of hit the spot more than another one. And that's communication for you. It is ever changing, despite the fact that we may still be who we are and the people we're talking to might still be who they are. The influence around communication, the things we communicate about and the way we communicate about them are always changing really rapidly in the modern world of the internet. But it's been changing that way up in the stars, up in the heavens for a very long time indeed, since long before there were people. So really, when Mercury's been in Gemini, the Gemini influence is really a very friendly one, you know. It's the sign of the twins, obviously, so it brings people together. It tends to bring like-minded people together as well. But at the same time, being the kind of sign that well, it's an air sign, but it's almost watery in the way it affects things, you know, because it gets things flowing together. The new moon that we had this week, yesterday on Monday, was a new moon in Gemini, so that Gemini influence was really highlighted. That actually got a lot of us thinking about what's going to happen in the future, and kind of the answer was to make the best job of it. Now is kind of a good time to be sowing the seeds of something new and waiting for those things to grow. But as we move from Gemini into Cancer for the general experience of Mercury and communication, different kettle of fish really, and it's not that anything bad is indicated, it's just that things become more difficult to understand. I would say we've already just come out of the craziest the craziest alignment of the week, because that new moon in Gemini was square Neptune, and Neptune is really out there. It's a really kind of psychic planet, you know, and it has to do with intuition. But with Mercury coming out of Gemini and going into Cancer for about the next 3 weeks, which is how long this alignment is going to last, we're looking at much more kind of sensitivity around communication. It's kind of mind what you say, be careful. It's very easy to say an innocent thing that someone could take the wrong way. Very easy indeed at a time like this. But, you know, that's the negative side of it. The positive side of it is people generally are going to end up a lot more sensitive to each other. And that is no bad thing. You know, a lot of the problems we have in the world are just people not caring enough about the other people around them and not caring enough about the world. So it comes from a place of compassion. And that's really important to hang on to, because people are going to seem pretty unreasonable at times. But don't they always? Isn't that human nature? Let's just drive in here a minute and see if we can actually see into the distance at all. No, I don't think we can. It's not that kind of day. Everything's greyed out. But there is a mountain out there, which I think you might just be able to see to the right-hand side of your screen as you look at it. And, you know, when we get communication things going off and being confusing, as Mercury so often does, it is really hard to see. But like that faint outline of a mountain there will be a plan going on somewhere. It'll make some kind of sense. But, you know, it's a cycle, and absolutely all of the planets and all of the signs are constantly in a cycle. coming up pretty soon, Venus is going to leave Taurus and enter Gemini, because Venus is in Taurus at the moment. And that is creating quite a bit of impatience, actually, around matters of love. Perhaps people have been on their own for a long time, are starting to find that a little bit annoying, and maybe take it a bit personally, which is unfortunate, because it's just the way of the world, you know. But, you know, just because a thing's never happened doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. You know, we could think about the way we communicate with ourselves. I'm just ducking because trees come flapping through the window. We could think more about ourselves, I think. We could also think too deeply about ourselves. So let's keep on looking at life as it is at face value, okay? That particularly matters with Mercury, but with Venus leaving Taurus and entering Gemini, in that sense, that's all getting a little bit less grounded, a little bit more out there. And, you know, it favours romantic thoughts and romantic beliefs, does that? So that's looking really positive. Whenever there's a negative, there's a positive, you know. The universe is always balancing itself. It takes it a hell of a long time to balance anything with us in this life, but that's because of us and because of this life that we're in. It's adjusting itself all the time in the heavens, magnetically. It really is. There may be other intelligent life forms manipulating it. I don't know, but I do know we've got a beautiful world here, and it is likely to stay beautiful despite every horrible thing that's being said about it. You know, it was set up for us to live on by a much higher authority than us, something so high we can't really even know anything about it. And yet here we are living that life and experiencing it. Basically, that's going to be a happier life the less we worry about things. And one thing about Mercury, I mean, it has a very real influence, but it's always around communication. It's always possible to kind of think a bit deeper, be a bit more careful, and get a better outcome. So I wish you all a happy outcome of whatever's going on in your lives today, friends. Thanks very much for watching. Peace. See you again soon, and take care. Bye.